total after just reading it and being on set, and it was fantastic. What I love most about it is exactly how you just described it, but there's a whole nother element and layer that comes in midway through that as you're watching it is you almost feel like you're like, okay, so they're gonna do this. Like you feel like you can plan it out, and then something comes in. That's what Raven did an excellent job writing wise. That really wraps you in and changes the dynamic of everything. And um, so it allows you to have kind of like even more root for the main characters as they go on this journey. And I just think it's not as predictable as you might think it would be,
Yeah.
which is
And Brooke, yeah. And Brooke, tell me, do you have any basketball skills? Can you dribble like say Damian Lillard or Giannis? Can you shoot the ball like Steph Curry?
oh
Are
yeah,
you a bit of a
Steph Curry's
sporty
got
girl?
nothing on me. I'm just kidding. Um, no, I actually played basketball when I was really little. I played for like 4 or 5 years, and I have an older brother. He's 6 years older than me, and so that was our activity every day after school was playing basketball in our front yard. And I would play with all the big guys in the cul-de-sac with him and all of his friends. I was always kind of more of a tomboy growing up, and I love basketball. I still keep a basketball in my car, and we'll go every other week and shoot a little bit around here.
And Brooke, was that a requirement for the movie in terms of landing the role to have an adequate level of basketball skills?
Yeah, that she wanted to see me shoot. She wanted to know what my basketball experience was. I do think I was everyone else would probably had a lot more experience. Starting in high school, I started focusing on dance, so basketball isn't my main focus, but I think that it definitely hopefully helped and played a big part in getting the role.
And tell me that sort of fitness sort of coach vibe, because we sort of get that sort of through the movie, sort of the Stephen puts you through your paces, the coach Tony puts you sort of through your paces in terms of the sort of physical sort of preparation in terms of that. So was there much sort of say, were you literally put through your paces, or was it just quick sort of shots to pretend that you're running for 3 or 4 minutes, or was there some days where you were really worked up a sweat and you had the general sort of coming off camera and said, "Oh, I'm bait there. I need to get a drink of water. I need to relax for 5 minutes before we go again."
No, I was definitely more of a workout than I was anticipating. In film, you just think, oh, perfect. Well, you dribble here, cut there, but
Yeah.
we actually were running suicide. Like Raven wanted us to be sweating. I mean, all of us were really dead after that long shoot because you're on set for a long time. And we definitely had one day in particular that was, we were doing full on drills. It was our trial day in the film. And then we actually played real basketball teams. So these girls were super good and it was like intimidating and it totally got us. We were like running after the ball. All of that is like very genuine and very real. So that was fun.
And tell me, in terms of as an actress, in terms of you're always sort of playing to the camera, sort of your roles, in terms of your facial expressions, in terms of that. But when you're trying to do two things at the one time, in terms of playing sport and having a competitive edge, and then concentrate what you're doing, but also remembering that you're an actress, you're not really a sports person while you're doing it. So you still have cameras looking at different angles. You still have to portrayed, say those lines with different facial expressions. Does it lead to one or two extra cuts that normally wouldn't be there if you weren't doing those sort of activities? Do you sort of forget yourself and think to yourself, oh yes, I'm an actress, I need to concentrate really on how my smile or my gesture looks rather than dribbling the ball off the left hand in terms of this shoot or this right hand?
100%. I think that's one of the hardest balances to find as an actor because you want to just fully dive into whether it's a sport or whether it's cooking, whatever you're doing, to make it seem as authentic and natural as possible. And sometimes, whenever you do get into that flow, then the last thing you're thinking about is like a camera, is my angle this way. So finding that balance, I think, is what actors who are really great can do. But yeah, you just have to always be thinking about like, am I open to camera? Like, am I pronunciating loud enough? There's lots of things going on.
And tell me, Brooke, tell me about the character Kaylee. What sort of type of person is she in the movie, away from her basketball skills when we see her, dare I say, not in the gym? What type of a character? Is she a flirty type? Is she a boy hunter in terms of that? Is she shy? Is she a book nerd? What type of person is Kaylee? Is she the party wild chick, or how does she come across in this movie?
So Kaylee is your typical type A regimented like class president. I have everything color coded, organized. She's, top of her class. She does pageants, so she is kind of one of the more girly girls for the basketball team, which I find a fun dynamic to bring, to also be sporty and super girly at the same time. But Raquel, who plays Destiny, is Kaylee's best friend, and they've been best friends since their childhood. And Kaylee really is a huge support system for Destiny, and just helping her stay on track and really pushing her and getting her outside of her comfort zone, because she sees Destiny's potential and who all she's capable of becoming. And as a best friend, you just feel their love. And she's kind of Destiny's only real family up until this point. And I think she serves as a really important character in Destiny's life.
Yeah. And obviously Stephen Bishop plays the character Tony Green, and a good lot of his scenes are with Destiny. Do you have any one-to-one scenes as well that are particularly highlighted between you and Stephen? Are they more funny in nature, or are there very sort of, dare I say, intimate personal connections in terms of stories between coach and player, or life situations that we see Kaylee connect with Tony?
No, most of my scenes are mainly with Destiny. My scenes with Tony are pretty much the whole group and the team and tryouts at games. Yeah, that's most of our interactions there.
Yeah, and tell me about Stephen in terms of the basketball side of thing, being the coach. Was he actually getting into it? Was he actually thinking and believing that he was a coach himself, and was he sort of getting into the lines and tactics? Could you see that he was probably getting lost in it a bit as well? Was he enjoying that whole sort of team management sort of thing, and bonding with dare I say, young adolescent girls?
Yeah, he was. He was doing amazing. I think what was cool is that he has a lot of layers going on in his character and things he's dealing with off the court, and he really brought like a mixture of that. You'll see in the film kind of like how it pans out, but we as a team like are super excited, but we also know that something else is going on, and I feel like he just portrayed that really beautifully. And then you see him kind of like grow into loving being a coach, which is really fun.
Yeah. And tell me, Brooke, how did the opportunity come arise for you to land this movie? Was it during the lockdowns? Was it during the strikes? And was it the traditional, now what seems to be the traditional taped audition? Or did you get to go to audition in person? Or was there a unique story behind you landing this role? Or was it just a typical talent agent taped audition sort of process?
So this role in particular might be my only role like this, but I'm from a small town in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and Raven, the director and writer, she's also from that town, and she also went to the same college that I went to, Clemson University. And I did a film with her a few years ago called Haunted Trail. And she had reached out to me to be in that. She knew I was an actress from Clemson, and so that was the first film I did with her. And then she reaches out to me about this and was like, I have a fun role. Do you play basketball? You would be Destiny's best friend, da da da. And I got super excited. I loved working with her before. And so I was thrilled to get to work with her again.
Yeah, and you mentioned coming from a small town in Carolina. Were you actually based there when you got the call, and did you have to go to dare I say, where the movie was being shot? And was it being shot in you're in Los Angeles at the moment, was it shot in Los Angeles, or was it shot near enough to your own home place?
So what was crazy is the Haunted Trail movie that I did before was shot 30 minutes from where I grew up, which
Mm.
feels to me like in the middle of nowhere, but it was so cool because I got to go home, be close to my family. And this was filmed in Atlanta, which I lived in
Yeah.
Atlanta right before I moved to Los Angeles. So I was there for about a month in Atlanta filming for this.
Okay, and tell me the characters on set, and obviously Columbus Short we know is a prominent actor as well, David Banner as well. Even the whole yourself and Raquel Justice and Isabel Almion, did you strike up a friendship on set, and was there an instant sort of a bonding between you girls? And how long were you shooting? Were you shooting for the best part of maybe 3 to 5 weeks?
Yeah, it was about 17 days, total film, so a short amount of time. And Destiny, Raquel, her and I, like, instantly, as soon as we met each other, we instantly got along super well, and we're like laughing and cutting up, and it was just that's just such a big gift you could ever ask for as an actor, because that just helps when you have a short amount of time to build chemistry like that. And I just feel so lucky that her and I immediately bonded. She was who I was in most of my scenes with, so I spent the most amount of time with her. But just from the beginning, I mean, we could talk for hours and laugh and giggle. Honestly, if anything, we were probably cutting up too much. We're like, okay, we have to be serious. This is a serious scene to get back into character. But I think that helped a lot.
And tell me, Brooke, before we came on air, you mentioned one or two other things that you had in the pipeline. I know you're in Los Angeles at the moment. Is that due to a current role? Is that moving in terms of opportunities that are coming your way at the moment that you've made the move to Los Angeles? And you might enlighten our audience. Have you anything else coming up? We might see you in our TV screens or in our movies, cinemas, theaters in the near future.
Yeah. So I'm based in Los Angeles full time now. I bounce back and forth to work on the East Coast and Los Angeles, but I actually have a small role on a show called Landman coming up by Taylor Sheridan, and that'll be on Paramount Plus. I've been wanting to work with them for a while, so I was super excited about that role. And then I'm also going to Bali for a month in June for a film called Ring of Fire. And so that'll be posting on my social medias as well. But the Landman will be on Paramount Plus coming out here soon.
Okay, fantastic. And is that your first time ever going abroad, Brooke, to film in a foreign movie?
It is actually, yes.
Okay.
So really
And
excited.
yeah, and I suppose in terms of that, we see now, and I suppose I was just talking to Aaron Eckhart there the other day, and Aaron, as we know, was so busy at the moment, but he was shooting a movie in Budapest in Hungary in Eastern Europe, and there's an awful lot of productions now being shot in likes of Eastern Europe, Serbia, Hungary, Romania, where big US companies are going out there for 5 to 6 weeks and shooting movies. As a young actress, are you does opportunities like that, do they interest you, or you're very much trying to make yourself in the way of Los Angeles at the moment and sort of cement your place for the next 2 or 3 years before looking at foreign projects? Or at the moment, is the world your oyster? If the opportunity is right, are you open to maybe traveling to do various roles?
100%. I have a travel bug very badly. So my last few years I've been bopping all around the world, and my absolute dream is to be able to do both. So that would be a mixture, just like a match made in heaven to be able to film abroad.
Okay, and Brooke, before we came on air, you mentioned you had some bit of Irish blood, and you mentioned a traveling bug. Would you be interested in trying to see where those roots lie and maybe visit the Emerald Isle in the next year or two?
Yes, I would love to. I would absolutely love to go there. I know that my grandparents and my family would also love that and appreciate that as well. So I need to do some more digging to find out some more specifics on exact towns and find some family history there.
Okay, so Brook Sill, for the final 30 seconds, I'll turn it over to you now. You might enlighten all our audience, all our listeners, why they should go out to the cinema, theatre screens en masse, why they should roll up outside the cinema and their planes, trains, automobiles, tractors, whatever mode of transport it is, arrive into the cinema, get their popcorn, their Pepsi, their Maltesers, and make their way to the screening room, pop back on their recliner, kick off the sandals, wait for the trailers to come on, and watch Finding Tony and Brook Sill. What's in store for them?
Yes, you guys, you will not regret it. It is absolutely incredible. It's a beautiful story that's going to leave you feeling just full of love and ambition and connected to humanity in a really special, unique way. And I think it'll be everything and more than you're hoping that it'll be.
Okay, that's where we have to call it a wrap for today. From me, Jim Conlan, to you, Brook Sill, we wish you all the best in your future endeavors in 2024. Do check out Brooke in a role in Paramount Plus, and we wish you all the best. Do check out her Instagram socials for that role upcoming in Bali. But for a moment, you can catch Brook Sill in our cinema screens at the moment in the role playing Kaylee in Finding Tony alongside Stephen Bishop, Raquel Justice, Columbus Short, and David Banner. From me, Jim Conlan, to you, Brook Sill, stay safe, take care, and God bless.
Thank you so much, Jim.